You said no to your parents once, maybe just once in your entire life. And for the next 3 days, something sat in your chest like a stone. Not anger, not sadness, just a heavy, wordless guilt you could not explain. So here is the question that should bother you. Why does saying one small word to the people who raised you feel like betrayal? The answer is not really about your parents at all. It is about a system installed in you before you could even speak. Psychologist John Bowlby spent decades studying how children bond with caregivers. He found that a child's survival, quite literally, depended on staying in the good graces of the people feeding and protecting them. Disagreement was not just uncomfortable, it was dangerous. A baby who displeased its caregiver risked losing food, warmth, protection. So evolution built you a very simple alarm system. When you sense disapproval from someone you depend on, your body reacts as if survival itself is at stake. Notice that word, reacts, not thinks, reacts. This is why saying no does not feel like a decision. It feels like a threat. Researcher Roy Baumeister studied something called the need to belong and found it operates as a fundamental human drive, almost as powerful as hunger. Being excluded from your group, even briefly, activates the same regions of the brain that process physical pain. When you imagine disappointing your parents, your brain is not exaggerating. It is running the exact same threat detection software your ancestors used when exile from the tribe meant almost certain death. Now add culture on top of biology. Indian households were rarely built around the individual. They were built around the collective. Obedience was not framed as submission, it was framed as respect, as gratitude, as the quiet repayment of a debt that could never truly be repaid. You were fed, you were raised, you were protected for 18 years before you even understood what any of it cost. So somewhere along the way, saying no stopped feeling like a personal choice. It started feeling like an insult to everything you were given. Psychologist Harry Triandis studied collectivist societies extensively and found something striking. In cultures built around family and community rather than individual achievement, personal desire is often treated as secondary to group harmony. Saying no does not just affect you. It disrupts an entire invisible structure everyone else is silently relying on. This is where the phrase "lo kya kahenge" enters your mind before you have even finished forming the sentence in your head. What will people say? That question is not really about strangers. It is about your parents' place inside their own social world. Every choice you make gets quietly filed under their reputation too. A daughter's decision becomes a mother's dinner table conversation for the next 6 months. A son's rejection becomes a father's silence at the next family gathering. You are not just saying no to a request. You are saying no to an entire web of relationships you were never fully told you were responsible for. So why does this guilt feel so physical? Why does your stomach tighten before the words even leave your mouth? Because guilt at its core is not really an emotion about the other person. It is a signal your own brain sends to keep you inside the group. Neuroscientists have found that anticipated guilt activates the same brain regions involved in physical discomfort long before any actual consequence occurs. Your body is punishing you in advance just in case you actually go through with it. Here is the part almost nobody tells you. This guilt does not mean you are wrong. It means your nervous system is old. It was built for tribes of 30 people where one wrong move could mean exile. You are not living in that world anymore, but your body has not been told that yet. Saying no to your parents is not betrayal. It is the first sign that a person who was raised entirely inside someone else's expectations is finally discovering the edges of their own. And here is the strangest twist of all. Many parents, the same ones you feared disappointing, later admit they respected you more the moment you said no. Not because they enjoyed being refused, but because for the first time they were looking at someone who had become a full person instead of an extension of themselves. You said no to your parents once. It felt like the end of something. It was actually the very beginning of you.